2.
Hi, my name is Tasha. I am a medical assistant med tech at Oshai Children's Hospital. We are closing up bargaining on today, but we just want to say on May 14th, we had to take time out to remember and honor those that lost their lives tragically on that date. So we are thankful for Kaleida, our leadership team, our union bargaining committee, for taking the time to give them the honor that is due to them, due and memorialize that we will never forget them, that we will always remember them, and that day will be forever on our hearts. So we just want to pour out respect and love for those families that are still here dealing with those tragedies, and just say thank you. Like I said, to our union and our bargaining committee and our Kaleida Health family for letting us take time to honor those that died on 5/14 tragically. We love you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Tasha. My name is Juliet Naples. I am the vice chair for the RN LPN bargaining group for 1199 SEIU, and also the health and safety officer. So we had a really productive, good week, busy week, settled on quite a few, I shouldn't say the word settled, we had a very productive bargaining week. Our joint 1199 SEIU and CWA committees bargained with Kaleida Health Management for 5 days this week to narrow the list of non-economic issues. We made significant progress, reaching tentative agreements on a few major issues, such as workplace violence and security, time and attendance, and job bidding and transfers. We are in the process of finalizing our economic proposals to management. We expect to present these proposals within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Our current contract expires May 31st. Workplace violence and security. We had extensive conversations related to workplace violence and security over the past few weeks with Kaleida. We are happy to announce that we have reached a tentative agreement on Article 108 and a new letter of intent. Kaleida is extremely committed to ensuring that employees are safe and secure at work, and already have a number of initiatives in the pipeline related to these issues. Our primary focus in bargaining was getting commitments and timelines in contract language, which has been achieved. Key commitments, which will be discussed at the Workplace Violence Committee, are as follows. Short-term initiatives, 6 months from ratification. Development and maintenance of a dashboard for monitoring Kaleida Health System security. Evaluating existing security includes surveillance cameras, panic alarms, door locking mechanisms, card access restrictions, and security impact, fill and or ballistic glass. Install and or expand where appropriate once evaluation is complete. Installing weapons/acceptable behavior signage. Providing training and education programs on violence prevention, verbal de-escalation, and other relevant security issues. Research and test employee wearable alarms. Long-term initiatives, 12 months from ratification. Research, test, and implement a weapons detection system in the emergency departments. Research, test, and implement a mass communication system. Evaluate existing access points at all facilities and the potential reduction of the same. Evaluate safety and security issues relative to parking structures. Continuing strategies. Installing a system of bag checks, wanding, and other weapons detection technology. The assignment and scheduling of security personnel, including potential additional personnel. Coordinating with law enforcement and other entities. Performing vulnerable assessments. Developing metrics for success, including response times, security breach occurrences, and employee feedback scores. And I will pass it on to Sherry.
Hello, my name is Sharita, and I am on part of the bargaining committee, and I work at the Graph Medical Park. I'm gonna continue reading tentative agreements. Letter 4, rotating will, we're gonna stay with the current contract. Letter 5, rotating will number 2, we're gonna stay with the current contract. Article 53, job bidding and transfers. We made several changes in this article to address issues raised that came up over the life of the contract. Section 1E, we added intra-cost center length of shift change as an additional exception that would allow an employee to bid inside their 12-month time frame. We added clarification language to 2C that the employer will consider qualified internal employees who apply following the 21-day posting period if there are no qualified candidates in the external recruitment process. In section 2G, transfer date, all successful bidders shall be required to comply with position-specific annual review requirements prior to the date of transfer. Added language consistent with language added in 1E regarding the exception in bidding restrictions for intra-cost center shift change and intra-cost center length of shift change. Added language for nurse practitioners and physician assistants. Nurse practitioners and physician assistants will transfer into their new position once the credentialing process is complete, which may exceed the 4 weeks, once the credentialing process is, which may exceed the 4 weeks, 28 calendar days from the date they were awarded the position, but shall not exceed 12 weeks. If the credentialing process is not complete within 12 weeks for reasons within the employee's control, the transfer will be delayed. If the credentialing process is not completed within 12 weeks for reasons outside the employee's control, the employee will be transferred to the new position but will not be identified as or permitted to perform any nurse practitioner or physician assistant functions beyond their current scope of practice. Section 3, added additional criteria for an employee in good standing. A plan of correction an employee may be on for a written warning or above, and in the event of an ongoing disciplinary investigation at the time of transfer, the employee will meet with the applicant and a union representative to discuss the status of the investigation and whether the transfer will be delayed. If there is a delay in transfer upon completion of the investigation, the employee will be moved. Such delay shall not exceed 30 days. Nurse practitioners, physician assistants shall serve a 90-day calendar trial period exclusive of any classroom training required. Added additional language about rescuing employees who are not meeting the job requirements and competencies in their position, consistent with current practice, which will give the employee the opportunity to move to another job that they will be successful in. Article 35, leave of absence. We made a number of changes in this article to address issues raised that come up over the life of the contract, as well as changes in state laws. In section 2, leave extensions requests will only be considered after the applicable state and federal law options are exhausted. Maternity related leave requests will be granted. In section 16B, included changes in paid family leave, PFL, that now includes siblings as an eligible family member under the law. Article 63, time and attendance. Several changes were made to reflect concerns raised during the contract to align with current department practices and support required CSC and contractual staffing ratios. In section 5, we clarified that call-ins may be made to either the department supervisor or the designated departmental process, as not all departments follow the same procedure. In section 7A, the grace period for arriving to work has been reduced from 60 to 30 minutes. Employees arriving more than 30 minutes late without notifying the manager or designee will be considered absent. Section 7B, employees who fail to report within 2 hours will now be considered absent regardless of unit needs. Section 8, we added a chart to clarify how if an employee changes to a position that changes their shift length from, for example, from 8 hours to extended shifts and vice versa, and how their sick day occurrences will adjust. Come observe bargaining. We are bargaining with management 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, at 2421 Main Street in Buffalo, New York, 14214. Feel free to join us to observe the bargaining as we work together to negotiate our contract. CWA and 1199 SEIU are committed to keeping our members informed and engaged throughout the bargaining. Your voice and participation are key. This is our contract, our future, and our fight. Stay involved, stay informed, and stay united. We hope to begin economic discussions soon.